On today's show, it's all about copper repiping. Why do you need it? Why would you want it? What's the benefit? Stay tuned.
John Eccles.
Richard Sod, welcome to the new studio.
It's nice.
You like that?
I do. It's wonderful.
We built this in a day. Or wait, a couple hours, I think.
Yeah, took 2 or 3.
I think so. It did. Let's talk about advantages. Let's just get right into the meat and potatoes.
Right into it.
Yeah? Why would you want copper pipe in your house?
The first thing that comes to mind is the longevity of the pipe. Copper pipe is very resilient, lasts a very long time. Manufacturer specs gives it a lifespan of up to 50 plus years. It's durable, structurally sound, lasts a very, very long time. And for me, being as young and as healthy as I am not, it'll last forever. So it's a great pipe when we're talking about that.
Yeah, you'll be dead.
You know, I mean, I think that, what was the place that we did it?
River Oaks. So, if you look at the oldest part of Houston, part of it's going to be, of course, River Oaks.
Right.
And we do a lot of remodeling. And I'm tearing out bathrooms that have 120-year-old copper piping, and it looks like the day it got put in. It is amazing. It looks brand new. Now, it also depends on the installer. It's got to be installed properly. And that's where people make a big mistake. They're looking at cost versus the installation. Now, in our field, when we install copper piping, we can definitely do some things that will degrade that pipe and create that the life of that pipe to become much less than that 50 years.
Right.
So it all depends on who you hire to put in that piping structure for you. But again, we're tearing out bathrooms, and this pipe's 100, 120 years old. These homes date to the 1900s, early 1900s. And the piping looks brand new. And the reason why we're tearing it out is we're creating larger bathrooms or moving a bathroom. So you have to. Other than that, there'd be no reason to tear it out.
Yeah, who knows how long it would last. But again, you're right, key is installation. Installation needs to be proper. You know, proper installation, you're going to get who knows how many years out of it.
Depends. You got to. I mean, there's tools, of course, to put this copper together. But you know, are they wiping the joints properly? Are they deburring the pipe properly? Those are things that you're never going to know. So it's very important that you hire a good installation company. Now, I went copper in my house. About 3/4 of my house was already copper. The other quarter of it I couldn't get to. And Harvey created to where I could get to that pipe again. I got flooded. So now my whole house is copper. And that leads us to the next advantage. Why did I go with copper?
I know why.
Over something else?
I know why. This is a biggie for you.
It's a biggie for me.
You want me to hit it?
Hit it.
All right, so copper is 1 out of 9 metals known to man that's antibacterial, meaning that it does not allow bacteria to grow onto it like some porous materials, plastic and some other things that can happen. It's antimicrobial. There's an H word. How do you pronounce the H word? I'm horrible at saying this word.
The H word?
Yeah.
Houston?
No. Hygienic?
Hygienic.
There it is. So it's a hygienic style pipe. So it's a very health conscious decision. Right?
Yeah, it is.
So,
it is.
Yeah, when you're talking about a pipe that's going to be as healthy as it can for you, it's not going to allow bacteria to build up in the inside and transfer to your faucets or to the water source where you're going to be drinking, bathing, all that kind of stuff.
Houston, as far as our water supply goes, when it comes to your house, we fail bacteria tests all the time.
Absolutely.
And the public is not aware of this. I mean, we fail daily or more on bacteria testing in this water that gets delivered to your house. Now, I can tell you copper is the only material that we use or can use that is antibacterial. So it helps to kill that bacteria. I know you don't like me to say that, but it does. Helps. I said helps. I use that.
You did say that.
We're in such a politically correct world now that it helps. I should say that. Right?
That's an inter-office quarrel.
Right.
You
It
did
is.
say it. You did say helps.
Helps.
But very healthy. You know,
To me, it eliminates it, but it helps.
it's a healthy option though when you're talking about choosing between the different materials. You can't say that about the other materials. You know,
Correct.
as
This is
much
the
as-
only material that we have that you can say that about.
That's right. That's right. And
It's meant for water supply.
and of the 9 metals that we're talking about, it is the only metal that is used for potable water supply. So, you know, there's not another metal that you're going to get. And plastic obviously is not antibacterial. It's not. There's no way to
Right.
twist it. It's just not.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. We already touched on the durability a little bit. Very
Right.
durable.
Right. Very durable.
Let's talk about corrosion.
Oh,
How does it corrode?
it doesn't. It's corrosion
What?
resistant.
I've seen it corrode. What?
Well, it comes down to what? You said it earlier.
Installation.
Absolutely. Properly installed, it's corrosion resistant, has the ability to handle high pressures. You know, so when you're talking about the water supply coming in, if for whatever reason your water pressure is higher than what's normal, it can handle high pressure situations. But the corrosion resistance is big. So you don't have to worry about it decaying over time or anything like that. Again, with proper installation.
That's right.
There are times where it's not installed properly and it does begin to corrode and not hold up as well.
And that is due to the installation process 99% of the time.
That's right.
The two dissimilar metals attached to each other creates electrolysis.
That's right.
Or can create electrolysis. That's the problem with copper, is these guys are clamping down wires under our pipe with something that they shouldn't, like a galvanized, or they're putting two dissimilar metals together in your water supply, like a galvanized and copper. That creates electrolysis. That creates corrosion. That creates failure.
That's right.
And you will not get the 50 plus years out of it. So again, it all goes back to your installer.
Yeah. And that's why I think on this show that we always request that our public and our customers call a licensed plumbing company and use a verified licensed technician. I mean, that's what you want.
And that doesn't make them good though either. You've got to do your homework.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. A license doesn't make you good, but it just makes you qualified to say that I can do that. So it all depends on your installer. We've been working with copper. We're strictly, we use mostly copper here at Nick's Plumbing. So if you guys are thinking about repiping the home, call us. You don't have to use us. We'll still help you.
That's right. I think that leads into
Right.
our next thing, which is a biggie for a lot of people these days, right? I mean, when you're talking about today's world, we live in a greener environment, right? Everybody wants to be green and save the planet. Well, copper has a very minimal impact into the environment.
That's right.
It's a recyclable material. It's naturally occurring. So it's a very, very limited impact when you're talking about environmental issues. So a lot of people, don't know that. And I'm sure if they thought about it, they would. It's pretty, self-explanatory, I guess. But a lot of people like that, with the greener
Environmentally
lifestyle.
friendly.
right.
Absolutely it is.
Absolutely.
It's a very green product.
That's right. So, I mean, that's a lot of good things about copper. I mean, you're talking, what do we say, longevity?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's healthy as far as antimicrobial, antibacterial. It won't corrode as long as it's put in right. Handles high pressure, extremely durable, minimum impact. It's a good choice. When you're in this process, right, don't let a plumber come in and steamroll you into one thing. You need to make sure that they're giving you all the information about all the different things that are out there and letting you make the decision on what's best for you, your family, and what makes sense for your home.
That's right.
Right?
So going on to the next step of that is what everybody hears is, what's a disadvantage of copper? Well, it's cost.
Yeah.
Everybody hears these days. I can't tell you how many people that I speak to. I mean, it's almost on a daily basis. Is copper is way expensive. We can't afford it. Well, there's a huge argument of why you should afford it, and there's a huge argument around it's not expensive. But you guys have all been told that it's expensive. Well, if you extrapolate 50 years on the cost of that install, what does that equate to?
Pennies to the day. Maybe even not pennies.
Might not even be a penny a
Micro
day.
pennies.
I mean,
Is that a word?
Let's use a number. Let's just say to repipe a home is 10 grand. I'm just throwing it out there. And you're getting copper. You're getting the best material. 10 grand over 50 years.
It's less than a fraction of a penny. It's almost.
Oh,
I mean, it's
I'm
nothing.
having problems counting that high.
It does.
Or counting that low. Which one? But if you think about it, do the math. It's not expensive.
Right.
And if it's installed right and you get 100 years out of that pipe, I mean your cost is very negligible. There it is.
There's
I
the
almost couldn't
big
say
word
it.
of the day.
Oh, negligible. Almost couldn't say it. I am in plumbing. I'm not supposed to know those words.
That was good. I love the big word of the day. I love it when you bust it out.
That's right. But I'm going to argue that all day long that it's not expensive.
Yeah.
Just extrapolate that over 50 years. Yeah, your cost up front's going to be more. And that's okay. It's what you're going to get at the end. Now,
Yeah.
I don't have 50 years left, but
You know, they say that's a disadvantage.
family does.
And I'm with you. I'd argue that. You say cost is a disadvantage. It is more up front, but you're getting some different things for it. The longevity, antibacterial, all those advantages we talked about go into that cost.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, we're going to give you the information. We're going to let you make the decision, right?
that's right.
Yeah.
What's best for you and your family.
What's another disadvantage?
Now, the last one, the copper. We've only got two.
Yeah.
We hear about cost. The other one is subject to bursting,
That's right.
let's say. And we've had some freezes. But you know what fixes that is insulation. If that
Right.
pipe is insulated properly and it doesn't freeze, the bursting is non-existent.
Right. But let's point out its potential to burst, right?
Mm-hmm.
So water always freezes at the same degrees no matter what kind of pipe you have.
Right.
So it has to freeze, and if everything's done right, it's going to minimize the potential to burst. Not saying that if it does freeze that it's going to burst. It's just because it's such a rigid pipe, it does have a greater potential versus some of the plastics that are out there to burst.
You guys go back to your chemistry days in junior high school probably, when water freezes, it expands.
That's right.
So that expansion creates the bursting of the pipe,
That's right.
or could create the bursting of the pipe. So you guys need to be aware of, as long as you insulate that pipe properly, that should never happen to you. Right. So prior to a freeze, you want to make sure that your insulation is good and it's insulated where it needs to be, and that's going to actually make that disadvantage disappear.
Right. And I'm sure if I can foretell the future at all, I'm pretty sure that as we get close to the winter, we'll probably do a whole show over freezing temperatures, what to do, and how to take care of it. Mm-hmm. So
stay tuned for that one. That'll be happening in November.
Yeah, that's right.
So thank you guys for listening, paying attention. Any questions, as usual, call the office. John's in, Richard's in. You can always call us and ask questions. If you hear something from another company that you don't think is accurate, you don't think is right, call us up and verify.
Absolutely.
We're happy to help whether you use us or not. Till next week, you guys take care.